So the beef between Youngboy and Future is getting more and more serious. We saw last week that we had DoeBoy and Youngboy going back and forth. Basically, an entire army of Youngboy's killer demons from the 4K Trey NBA Gangster Alliance was basically making it very clear that they were willing to catch bodies on behalf of Youngboy. Youngboy had to call off the hitters. Things really got out of hand, okay? And look, I've been on vacation for a few days. I've missed out on a few of the updates, so I'm going to give you a massive update in this video on the absolute chaos and carnage that's been going on in these Atlanta streets because of Youngboy and Future's back and forth. And things have gotten out of hand now. Other cities, you got Philadelphia, Gilly from $1 Million worth of game. He's had a pretty diabolical back and forth with Youngboy, where Youngboy basically insulted his dead son and made reference to a massive beef that they had previously during, Youngboy's previous interview run where Gilly had tried to do some gangster stuff on him. That's completely backfired. He did not know he was dealing with. They should have given me an interview. I'll be honest with you. They gave Bootleg Kev. They gave Bootleg Kev's lame ass an interview, but they didn't give me. God damn. All right. They know I'm the Youngboy historian. But anyway, that aside, okay, I'm going to break it all down to you in this video. And first, let's just do a recap on everything this beef's about. And luckily, me, all right, I can give you the recap that I gave you last week, because this has been going viral on the Dumbway, one of the most major Baton Rouge gangster subreddits, okay? And basically, yeah, this is kind of a little recap that was going viral there. So I'll play you this because people picked out a pretty useful clip that basically showed exactly, I explained the deep, dark, street-related reasons why Youngboy and Future were having a beef. And, people were saying that this was very helpful. So I'll show you this, I'll show you some of the response, and then I'll update you on everything new that has happened since. So this was me last week explaining what this was all about. This Youngboy Future beef is about to get deadly. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the biggest shooters from Atlanta are now picking sides between Future's Taliban gang and Youngboy's Never Broke Again. You'll say the Slime's the big 4K Trey. Reason that's been overlooked, the very diabolical things that Future has done to diss Youngboy and his dead friends, and basically why some of the biggest killers in Atlanta are actually more loyal to Youngboy than they actually are to Future. So Future and Youngboy have been having a very low-key beef that not many people have known about for a good few years now. One of the first early signs that there was a beef going on was when Youngboy popped out in 2022 and he dissed Future, saying that when he signed his deal with Motown for $60 million, Future basically copycatted and got jealous and sold his entire music catalog for $75 million. This was the first public sign, but I'm going to tell you privately why they hate each other.
And Joe's Mo say, these bitch ass niggas heard how I got that bag. Hey, these bitch ass niggas heard how I got that bag. I had these bitch ass niggas go sell their whole catalog to catch up. Man, fuck you.
He's talking about Future. That went over your heads, didn't it? That went over your heads years ago, all right? A lot of people don't know exactly why Youngboy hates Future. Well, the reason for that is obviously Lil Durk. Of the murder of Lil Pab, the murder of somebody that's lost their life affiliated with Youngboy because of the whole King Von beef. And what's the first line on the song? It's Future making a mockery of Lil Pab. Keep it on the low, go drop a bag and get an N-word buried a few months after Lil Pab is gunned down and murdered. And what's this? Future hops on the track. If you want to say, oh, Future didn't know, he know exactly what he was doing. He hopped on the song. Everybody seen Quando Rondo screaming no. Everybody knew that Durk was behind this. Durk performs NBA Youngboy diss song on Tonight Show. That's interesting. Wait a minute. Lil Durk also brought out Future to perform Petty 2. Youngboy couldn't possibly be that petty. He brought him out to perform Petty 2. Lil Durk was rubbing it in his face. All right, back when Future performed Aha with Durk, YB diss. What are you doing on stage, Future? Okay. People saying, I don't know what Durk did to get them dudes like Drake and Future to fully pick his side. All right. People saying, I never knew Future performed this with Durk. Guess he chose the side as well. All right. I think Future and them Atlanta dudes was probably pillow talking and YB seen it. So I do remember academics saying that rappers were calling each other chatting about YB. He even said rappers were calling him asking about YB. So academics broke it down last year. It was basically, if you F with Youngboy, you can't F with Durk. And if you F with Durk, them Atlanta dudes are not going to F with you because they chose Durk. Industry politics at its finest. But the killers in Atlanta are choosing Youngboy, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So, all right, shout out to everybody ripping my content for TikTok, okay, but they broke that down. Now, some people saying I'm not credible, but I was pretty tapped in, all right, and, I came with the receipts, I came with everything that's going on. Now, people are saying Playboy Carti's the only one that can really squash this. He's cool with Future and Youngboy because a dude in jail claimed in ATL that 4K Trey and Homicide will run in the jails in ATL, not Taliban, which is Future and Thozam Ban Phonies gang. Who knows how this will play out? People saying he don't even rock with Carti no more. They're saying Carti and YB did a song last year. They got an unreleased album called 004K Trey, and Carti and OG33 locked in. All right, they seem like they locked in. Okay, but then true, Carti took a picture with Lil Durk's pop, so that bridge might be burnt. Okay, now people saying it's a reach. It's not a reach. We know what's going on. Okay, they're saying I bet it's all over a female. One of them got 10. Bro, people got murdered over this beef, and you jumping on stage talking about the Tonight Show. That is exactly what this is about. Okay. That is exactly what this is about. What started the King Von beef between Von and Youngboy, he was sneak dissing Youngboy for a minute and then smashed his BM. Then he died. That's a fact. So anyway, all right, let's fast forward to now and explain what's going on. So Doughboy obviously was one of Future's, enforcers. All right, one of his riders or dyers. Okay, and he might end up dying for riding the meat in this situation. Okay, basically Doughboy appeared on streamer Reggie's stream and talked about NBA Youngboy. And in this, he tried to downplay the beef. He tried to cop a plea. All right? And maybe he heard about these 4K Trey shooters that he was talking to. Maybe you want to watch one of my documentaries and realize, hang on a minute, I am facing the gravediggers.
What's going on the internet, but so whole time it's not even what niggas think.
It ain't no beef, bro. Boy, I ain't finna be beefing with no niggas 17 hours away, blood.
He talking so meekly. You know what this reminds me of? That Drake song. You had to whisper my name. Yeah, no, we ain't beefing, man. Dude, hours away. Like, bro, you got the gravediggers on your case, bro. You better talk quieter. You better hush that voice.
And I knew it wasn't real, man.
Scared.
I knew it wasn't real. Because it was just too random. It was just too random, bro.
Nah, he really retarded like that, though. Something wrong, bro.
Nigga, I woke up.
He did say
Bad
he
move.
didn't have no cigarettes or nothing in the whole month. Say he ain't smoke no cigarettes, sip no syrup or nothing in the month. So that might be what it is, though.
You dissing, but you talking so quiet, we ain't gonna catch it, right?
Yeah.
If Youngboy ain't got the volume turned up, we ain't gonna know.
YB ain't got his. When he ain't out that dope pack, he crashed. But when I seen him say fuck Future, it's like nah.
Reggie on the list now too. You better look out.
Cause it be like, all right, yeah, I'm a YB fan, but it's like, all right, Future though. So I fuck with Future, so it's like, all right, at some point we gotta draw the lines. Niggas is saying fuck everybody. It's like, okay, not free bands though.
Not free bands though.
And I'm like, all right, but that's Future. It's like, all right, YB, come on now. That's Future though.
I didn't think he would do that though. That's crazy, bro.
It was random, bro. I didn't expect that, bro.
Me neither.
I didn't expect that, bro. Dead ass.
Dude, it's crazy. Who you like better?
All right, but
if you had to pick one,
I just feel like that question right there, that's like, all right, Future or YB?
You gotta think about it. You really gotta think about that?
No, listen, let me explain. So, in retrospect, I feel like a lot of niggas don't really understand like how Future really came in the game and then how he really became one of the biggest. But then Youngboy came in the game and he one of the biggest of our generation. But Future been doing this shit for generations.
Right.
So now it's like, alright, it's about longevity in this shit. Like, when a nigga been around longer than you, it's like he been putting in more.
He being political, right? He sat next to Future's biggest meat rider, and he ain't finna say, obviously it's YB, but he gonna give that little diplomatic response. But during the very same stream, even Doughboy admitted that he still listens to Youngboy's music, even though he had to whisper his name. Let's play it.
He's not better.
Yes, he is.
Cantrell overly better than Cantrell. I ain't going back. To you. He hard though. I ain't even no fake ass nigga. I ain't even gonna sit up here and act like he ain't. He's not.
See, he's saying he's not better. But he's still hard. Copping please, all right? He ain't even got to tell us, all right? You want to feature? Just say that. Just say that. YB gonna charge bro double or triple for a 16. Apparently Gunner and YB in the studio together. That would be epic. Another effing fan like Von and Dirk. Look how that worked out. All right. The whole industry fans, they're just mad they can't be controlled as they are. Because he's told the world his flaws. Facts, them dudes be mad YB ain't be at their parties or posting them or none of that friendly shit. And he outselling them. All right. We're going to act like YB don't listen to them dudes too, or at least did. YB ain't listening to no DoeBoy. I had no idea who DoeBoy was until this week. I thought it was a No Jumper dude. Why does YB even give him attention? He finna go on a promo run. YB told him pull up thinking he actually wanted to fight. All right, he probably does, but he clearly scared of YB and don't want real smoke out of this shit. All right, we know they fanned out. Let's be honest, YB did comment first. All right. No, he didn't. He said something to Future, then Doughboy put on that cape trying to save Future, and then YB said he beat the F out of him. That is a fact. That's how it went down. Let's not get it twisted. Like, YB even gave a shit. He didn't even know who Doughboy was till he put on that free band cape. All right? And don't get it twisted. Future's new album was Flames. It was excellent. Everybody hating, trying to jump on the bandwagon and be hating because they know the numbers ain't what they used to be in the rap game. But, okay, Future's album was fire, so don't get it twisted. I'm not hating on Future in any which way. Doughboy, I literally know nothing about Doughboy. I was not even aware of his existence until this week, until he dissed the GOAT, all right? But anyway, he previewed his diss track on that stream, and here are the lyrics of him dissing Youngboy. This is a very bad idea. This is a very bad idea. This is how you sign your death certificate while you're still breathing, okay? He said, bring your pussy ass outside and slide. Tell that pussy boy stop claiming slime. This man has a death wish. He has a death wish. He completely has a death wish. This man is not long for this earth. The real grave diggers and pallbearers will be going. Dispatched to him any minute. Said, you're not like that. You ain't my kind. He is like that. You are incorrect, sir. You got rich and started claiming the 5. That's cap. Under Birdman wing, you are blood now. That's cap. All right? They've been, bro, just do your homework. Just go and watch one of my 3 videos about Youngboy and just go find out. He said, I keep a 50 like Lil Jeff. I feel like Bloodhound. All right? I think he might be watching. I don't know. He keeps a 50 like Lil Jeff. Look what happened to Lil Jeff. I feel like you're gonna be doing a feature with Lil Jeff if you're not careful. If you keep on like this, you'll be linking up. You can do a whole joint mixtape with Lil Jeff. Lil Jeff, all right? Say he been sober for a month. He needs drugs now while you coming on my page like I won't bug out. Once you go free bands, you will not get your bitch back. That's not what Youngboy said. A Youngboy said he was taking Future's bitch. Street, all right? Get your N-word Scully before he get that bitch tapped. Why do you think they call him Scully? Go and watch his interview where he talks about why they call him Scully. They said, why do they call you Scully? He said, see this tattoo of a skull with a bullet in its head? Yeah, that's why they call me Scully. They ain't playing. These guys aren't cosplaying like gangsters, okay? These guys are the real deal. Hit that bitch, crack, blick first, don't blick back. 10 milli silly, leave your head in Ben lap. This man has the biggest death wish I've ever seen. This is actually insanity. This is like watching somebody walking a tightrope with no harness in real time, and you're just like, bro, this guy is just going to be a stain on the side of the road any minute. Said, F that minivan when it's time to slide. I went track. No, you miss your hood. When the last time you went back? I don't think he misses his hood. Every time he goes back to his hood, someone ends up dead. Bitch, I'll do the robbing, not the one to get jacked. Robbed your LA lean plug. He still ain't get his shit back. Bro, how is it even honorable to be like, I robbed your LA lean plug? Like, this dude hasn't been in LA for a minute, all right? Last time he was in LA, he was playing the show and I was there, all right? Ain't he famous? I'll drop his name, but that's federal. Any dude that tweak with dough, he getting a switch, you better know. Bro, is this, like, has any, bruh. I just don't believe it, all right? This is just looking like rap cap. Big ass bird around my pendant. That's what I'm stepping for. He just yell at phones. That dude ain't never stepped before. That dude ain't never stepped before, yeah? He's a liar. Doughboy, you're a liar. You're just a liar. It's not true. Teen rapper NBA Youngboy arrested for case connected to series of shootings in Baton Rouge neighborhood. You're a liar. You're just a liar. You're just lying. This is lies. He yell at phones. He ain't stepped before. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. You're just you're just fucking lying, all right? It's all well and good. Get your shit off, get your little social media clout, but you're a liar. And this man is the biggest slime, all right? The biggest 5. You are making a huge mistake, okay? This was completely documented. NBA Youngboy charged with 2 counts of attempted second-degree murder. Accused of firing a gun multiple times during a drive-by shooting in the 2000 block of Kentucky Street. Sliding for the cousin Boozilla, all right? This is documented, all right? Reports indicated Youngboy was one of the 3 passengers in the vehicle along with the driver. During the incident, a passenger was shot in the neck. Unfortunately, this drill didn't go to plan, but he tried his best, all right? He tried his best to kill 2 people. I'm not saying that's good, but I'm just saying that this is a lie. He ain't never stepped before. Yes, he has, all right? After the shooting, they fled the scene. They got a flat tire and crashed the car. Youngboy, the driver, and the other passenger all fled the scene. So this is a lie. All right, this is a lie. He just yelled at phones. He's never stepped forward. So you're a liar. Okay, cool. All 24, we go on, bitch. We like that. I mean, I can see Youngboys like that. Is Doughboy? Is Doughboy like that? Okay, for the record, all right, I'm not biased. Apparently, Doughboy is like that. Okay, I didn't know a lot about Doughboy until recently. All right, but he was like that. All right, apparently he had all kind of robbery, some crazy aggravated charges. He was charged with multiple counts of aggravated robbery. He was arrested in 2013, served well over 2 years. All right, so look, all right, he like that too, but you can't say Youngboy's not like that. If that slides, if we're allowed to say that, if we're allowed to cap on the reps and lie and say Youngboy's never stepped before when he demonstrably has, you can't, like, we can just lie and say you've never done an aggravated robbery in your life. It's cap. Like, we can say that if we want, right? And you know, look, he got a backstory that's saying 2 counts of aggravated robbery, 2 counts of felonious or belongings assault, tampering with evidence, receiving stolen property, possession of criminal tools. All right. So he done his time. He done his thing. Now, I would say Youngboy's stepping harder. He got 2 attempted murders. So I would say Youngboy's stepping hard around this bitch. All right. If, in the words of Young and Ace, all right, you got to step hard around this bitch. And you can't cap on other people when it's documented history that Youngboy was stepping hard around this bitch. So anyway, first 48, Shaq home, he came right back. Slime, meet me at the back door if you like that. We don't spare no goofy ass hoes, we ain't like that. Hurry, bring your pussy ass outside. Come here. I be with real bloods that bang the fire. Come here. Bitch, I'm OTF, I pick my side. Come here. Walk him down, I'm doing this shit for Von. Come here. I'll keep it real with you. Like, it's all well and good cosplaying a gangster beef with Youngboy for a bit of clout, but like, you actually are in a gang murder beef now, okay? And if you're doing this shit for Von, well, if you're really gonna do this shit for Von and you picked your side, well, alright, cool. Youngboy's crew smoked your mans. Like, if that's how you want to play it, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but like, if that's how you want, if you picked your side OTF, alright, you banging OTF, okay, well, your main shooter got killed by one of Youngboy's friends on camera. Like, that's okay. If that's how you playing it, that's not a great position to come on it, like, to come at it from, to be honest with you. So this is absolute insanity. He said, come here, Herm, he a sheep, why are you playing with a goat? Herm is not a sheep. You were barking up the wrong tree playing with Herm. That is insanity. Johnny Blaze will tweak. I swear he worse than Baby Joe. Shorty, she a freak. So I'm playing in her throat. 2 Glocks with the burr for anybody playing both sides. Twist on that boy. Come on, Slide. You want smoke? Come on, Slime. If I have to suit up, your whole squad gonna need a bow tie. Get your homies. I ain't trying to argue with no broke guys, bro. Youngboy's whole crew is so rich. Do you know how much that man's tour made? And all the hangers on that you say are broke, all right? If all the hangers on that you say are broke, they was all on the tour, they was all working, they was all involved. It was a $70 million tour, highest grossing tour, debut by a headline rapper, all right? They are not broke, sir, all right? Herm has his own completely original chain, all right? That Black Sheep chain, Youngboy didn't have a Herm chain that he handed down to Herm. Herm got his own chain, and yeah, he got a few NBA chains, and don't even ask what he had to do to get them chains, all right? Y'all thought he was Trim, but I was really him the whole time. You don't claim the gang. You want a problem? Say my name. He said, pull up and fight me now. Why are you on my page? Because you should probably be on Fredo Bangs. Brother, like, go and look at what happened in the war between Youngboy and Fredo Bang's crew and what happened. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's like, you talking about you on my page, you should be on Fredo Bang's. Like, the NBA crew murdered G Money, like the main guy. Fredo Bang only really rapping because the main man of their crew, G Money, got murdered, but allegedly by the NBA crew. Like, what are we doing here? You said you should be on Fredo Bang's. They don't, no offense to Fredo Bang, I like Fredo Bang's music too, but it's like, that beef is dead. And a lot of people got killed from their side. And they tried to kill Youngboy loads of times. You can go and look up Lit Yoshi and all the attempts. There was definitely serious people on their side. But your man, Baba Osama, was shooting back at Fredo Bang's crew. Your man's, the free band shooter. Future's cousin was shooting back at Fredo Bang's main shooter. So what on earth are you talking about? It said, link up, bitch, I'll take your chain. Police, I don't play those games. Get that boy an 8 of drank. This is crazy. All right, this is crazy. Bitch, I'm OTF up. This was a really, really bad idea, to be honest. I mean, this is just a really bad idea. He said he's doing this for Von. Bro, this is crazy. So, since he wanted to get involved and diss Youngboy on behalf of Lil Durk and OTF and Von, immediately after this, we heard from the man who killed Von, Lil Tim. He responded to DoeBoy. So somebody basically said, gun to the back of your head, name 5 DoeBoy songs. And Lil Tim said, pow, you dead. Skull emoji. No one can name 5 DoeBoy songs. I can't name a single one. All right. Lil Tim reacts to DoeBoy saying he picked a side OTF and says he's doing it for King Von. He said, pow, he dead. Skull emoji. It's over with. Said, lol, dude can't even use that. We don't know 5 of his songs. Said, I'm from Cleveland. I can't even name 5 of his songs. When did he say that in his new song? All right, I just showed you. He goofy as hell, but Demons R Us has no skips. Don't nobody know that shit. Listen to Bussin' by him and Lil Uzi. We're gonna have to go and do some research because that shit ain't been on my radar. All right. I don't know why you keep believing that's his personal Twitter when it's not. It's a fake ass fan behind that. He's already said it once. They're saying name 5 Lil Tim songs. Let me see if I can name 5 Lil Tim songs. Just scratch the new pussy M word off the list. That one's hard. All right. What's the one? The first one off the 3820 where he says, I swear, all these bodies on my conscience. Crazy catch him walking out of party, hop, I walk him down. So that's 2. I got 2 Lil Tim songs. I'm 0 Doughboy songs, but I got 2 Lil Tim songs. What other Lil Tim songs can I name? I'm gonna try and name some other Lil Tim songs. What else we got? What's that one where he said, man, what's the other? I gotta try and name 5 Lil Tim. I got 2 though. We 2-0 for Lil Tim and Doughboy. This is just straight off the top of my head. All right. What's the one where he said 50,000 Vinci, 20,000 Prada, brand new AMG, brand new Maserati. What? Ah, shit. What's that song called? Anyway, look, I'm gonna take that. I can't remember the title of that one. I need to know, at least if I can say the melodies for 5 Lil Tim songs, he's got him. Okay, brand new AMG, brand new sell me up a slobby, I love the way you swallow. That song, that's hard. All right. And then what else has he got? What else has he got, man? What else has Lil Tim got? We 3-0 for Lil Tim songs. We're gonna have to skip it. I got 3, and he ain't even a rapper. Okay, he ain't even a rapper. They're saying Doughboy picks a dick and bounces. All right. They're saying Tim needs to get back for Pab. Well, how are you going to get back? Lil Durk's in the courthouse. I had to go through airport security to catch a glimpse of Durk. So there ain't no getting back for Pab right now. The people getting back for Pab are the federal prosecutors. Okay. So I feel like that's not valid. All right. You know, Doughboy needs to get back for Von if that's what they're saying. Tim was saying slide for Von, but he can't say slide for Pab. All right. It's all well and good saying slide for Pab, but everybody involved in that is currently in the feds. I just seen them. So they're saying, no, he don't. OTF killed Pab. Sure, but one isn't equal to the other. Quando's still living and breathing. Facts. Pab was an accidental murder. Pab was a mistake. You didn't get who they wanted. They didn't even really know who Pab was. Like, he was on Clubhouse talking his shit. That's about it. Okay? That is about it. So they said that Quando's still living. Tim's still living and breathing. Tim won the chess game and he took out the king. Pab was like a bishop or a rook, but in my opinion, that's not the same as making Von into flower fertilizer. With Von gone, that whole operation got set into motion to fail. Now Dirk gone behind Pab, and Quando's still going to be the last man standing. OTF is cooked, and it all started because Tim got one up on OTF, and they couldn't get it back. Pab isn't get back because he ain't have the same value as Von in terms of money making and putting MFs on a career trajectory. Tim gave them an entire L in Game 7 of the finals, and you want him to get back for a regular season game loss. That is a crazy comment, but I kind of understand what they're saying. All right, these are real people. You're not talking about video game characters. It was an L on both sides. You're going to disregard Pab because he didn't have money and make music like Von. Shut your day room ass up. Here's the thing, Pab wasn't there when Von died. He was a rolling 60 with them in Savannah, Georgia, and he had his own little cases going on, and there was like allegedly like some kind of car theft ring or something. He had a RICO on some separate shit, but basically it's true, right? He's saying, look, I'm not disregarding him. That's the reality of the situation. Bitch, all you want, but the fact of the matter is, by removing Von, Tim dealt a massive blow to OTF. Facts, it was the beginning of the end. You're just too butthurt to understand logistics. It's the reason why the president has the Secret Service and has so much protection surrounding him. He's the leader, the VIP, the top dog. Pab was valuable as a human and to his family and those that knew him, but you need to remove your feelings out of the situation and realize his death didn't stop anybody's bag or motion. Von dying killed a lot of people's motion. Von dying is directly responsible for the downfall of Dirk and OTF, and I would also add O-Block to that. Last time I checked, Tim got a rap career going and Quando's still doing his thing, which is my point. Pab dying hurt them, but it didn't stop them. Von getting splattered stopped OTF and got Dirk a life sentence coming. It's savage, but that is a pretty logical explanation, even though it is a little bit rude and out of line. Okay, people saying you guys really in your feelings over facts. It doesn't change anything. Tim making Von a pack is worse than OTF killing Pab 10 times over based on the greater fallout it had. Tim stopped millions of dollars being made dead in the water, ended 2 millionaires' careers, and you MFs up here really acting like Pab being ambushed had the same impact. Pab being killed only hurt Pab's people emotionally. Von being terminated hurt Von's people emotionally. Financially, it killed 2 music careers, killed a label, killed the Chicago rap scene, sent Dirk to prison likely for life, and made Chicago irrelevant. Whoa. Whoa. It said, "You're the type of MS that a dude rob you for 100 bricks and then you rob a bag of weed from him and you think you even now. Wow." Okay, it doesn't matter who equals who. Blood still got spilled on both sides. Plus, it was personal for Quando Rondo. Tim killed a friend of Dirk. OTF killed a real family member. That's a big difference between the two. Again, you and the others stuck on the fact it was Quando's family. That's fine, but it 100% matters who you target in retaliation for Get Back. OTF even knows this. They were going after Quando, not Tim and not Pab. They settled for Pab because shit was way too hot to try again. Blood got spilled on both sides. True, now keep going. What happened afterwards? Quando grieved Pab and buried him, and his life went on relatively unchanged, except for the loss of Pab. Now, on the other hand, when Von died, potential millions upon millions of dollars was lost instantly. People instantly went from having motion and a secure job to not knowing where the next meal is coming from. Whoa. The cherry on top, though, is Dirk's about to do life in prison on multiple decades. Tim destroyed 2 birds with 1 stone. Regardless of how you and how anybody else feels, the cold hard fact is that Von's death had far greater severe implications than Pab's death. People call me names, say I'm a goofy or name or clown. Nobody can refute that fact. If you look at this through the lens of King Von was pushing a beef with Youngboy, and them two basically had this jealousy beef in the rap game going on because they both had 7 bodies at the time, and Von escalated it by screwing Youngboy's baby mum. It's a fact. Jania got herself involved in this beef, and Youngboy said he would have killed her if she wasn't his baby mum's. All right. She said, tell Nene if I wasn't BD. Tell Nene if I wasn't her BD, bitch, I would have bust her ass. Or I know everything about this. So that's a fact. All right. Von was trying to ruin Youngboy's reputation and his credibility, and he wanted to beat up Quando Rondo to make a mockery of Youngboy and make a mockery of his label and the beef. Lil Tim hit him with that Uno reverse card and literally destroyed O Block, destroyed OTF, and then Lil Durk spiraled and ruined his own motion. If he'd have killed Quando Rondo, it would have been a whole different story, unfortunately, okay? It is what it is. Said Lil Tim ain't killed nobody, that dude a hoe, he follows behind them. That's cap. All right, Doughboy versus Lil Tim, money on Cleveland. Keep that same energy. I don't know about that. But anyway, okay, after all of this, all right, by July the 14th, Youngboy would be responding to Doughboy, but also Future and also Gilly, all right, from $1 million worth of game in a pretty diabolical snippet, all right? So I can't play you the audio, but I will tell you what is being said because they put the lyrics on screen. This is in the NBA Youngboy new song, I Got Banned / The Gouldens, Future, Doughboy, Gilly, and Mellow Rack's diss track, all right? So why the F these N-words acting moderate like back in the day, they wasn't my fan. Old-ass N-words claiming he the hottest, hit his bitch ass with a fan. Had a miscarriage, a baby inside my closet, N-word, I'm the murder man. I don't think abortions count as bodies for the body. That's hatflation. Thrown out billies on billies to all my hoes like they sedans. I think he meant Bentleys. Had thought about killing Gilly, but that bitch ain't killed nothing about his son. I had granted Mellow wishes, this bitch gon' play me like I was a pawn. That is diabolical. Now, if you don't know the full story, you know, you can go and watch my video about OTV Joker, the alleged Philadelphia teenage serial killer, okay, who essentially, let me see if I can show you this, hang on. The alleged teenage serial killer who wore a Joker mask and basically was killing people in the streets, allegedly killed Gilly's son. And he confirmed this in an interview himself. I did a full breakdown about this about 1.5 years ago now at this point. The model student turned serial killer, they called him the Philly Joker. And, you know, this was a whole thing. And Youngboy is basically rubbing it in his face, saying he didn't kill nobody about his son Cheese that allegedly got killed by OTV Joker. So that is a crazy, crazy, insane diss, to be honest with you. Okay, so it's interesting, right? Because essentially, Gilly had gone up there to Gravedigger Mountain to do an episode of $1 million worth of game with Youngboy, but it kind of ended up going left because Youngboy was high as hell at the time. He was serious in a deep depth of drug addiction. Obviously, he ended up catching this case related to prescription pharmaceuticals. And, you know, Gilly's whole thing is he tries to have these honest heart-to-heart conversations. We seen him have the heart-to-heart with Lil Durk. Ironically, when he was there with $1 million on the table, apparently same day he paid the hitman that killed the guy that had something to do with his his brother's death, all right? And Gilly and Wallow had this whole heart-to-heart, like, yeah, man, you gotta not slide. You gotta set an example for all these guys in the room. Little did he know all them people in the room were killers, and that money on the table was the goddamn bounty money, all right? This is the Gilly and Wallow is low-key the definition of falling on deaf ears, and it's ironic, right? They're having these big preaching moments to try and, you know, teach the streets how to do better. And I do respect it because for the audience of young men that are going through these situations, that is the kind of OG advice that they need. But for the actual people there in front of like Dirk and Youngboy, they ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. We've been got back. It's too late. It was too late for you to have that conversation with Dirk. And you telling Dirk that you need to be responsible and not slide and not go out the same way as these other people. And meanwhile, you starting off the thing talking about back again. I ain't trying to squash no beef. We into it till you die, real street. You singing along to the murder anthem, and then you talking about, bro, we need to stop the violence. Meanwhile, the killers are in the room about to get their bread. About to get their little bounty. So it's actually insane. But basically, story has it, they had a little heart-to-heart during this 2023 interview, and what was very interesting, although Youngboy was strung out on drugs, Youngboy actually brought it up to Gilly's face about his son getting killed in this interview, which was fascinating, really.
I'm done with you.
Hey, how you feel about life today?
Like, I feel about life today, just to be honest with you, bro, it's difficult. I just lost my son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I appreciate that. I struggle every day. You know what I mean? My son was a year older than you. You know what I'm saying? So I struggle every day. When I wake up, that's the first thing I think about. You know what I'm saying? So, but I also know that I gotta be strong for my family.
What makes you happy?
What make me happy is knowing the fact that out of the history of my motherfucking family life, I was the nigga that did it. I was the nigga that said, no, the next generation ain't gonna be fucked up.
So look, I have utmost respect for Gilly and Wallah. I don't want anyone to think that I'm putting them down. I'm just trying to let you know the history and the backstory of their back and forth and kind of how this went down. And I don't condone Youngboy making a nasty lines about Gilly's son passing away and being killed. I don't feel like that's necessary, but at the same time, he feels how he feels. And I'm going to tell you why he feels that way. And then maybe you might have a greater understanding of why he spoke that way. Because after the interview dropped, it came out that Herm and Youngboy basically said publicly, we didn't approve this interview. We didn't want this to drop. Youngboy was too strung out. We weren't feeling it. We didn't want to put it out. And they felt like that Gilly's response, he was trying to be on some gangster shit with Youngboy and Herm. And these are the biggest gangsters, the biggest fives, the biggest slimes out here. That was a big mistake. And that's why he's doing it. Okay. So basically, this kind of came out. It said that was the only interview that YB approved to. That was only interview. Hang on, see if I can get this. What's going on with this? What the hell?
I could put this on top life. You niggas gonna get caught.
So he said you guys gonna get caught. All right. And so he said that was only interview YB approved to drop. A lot of people would like to have gangster energy with him instead of the people who actually killed their seed. Shit crazy, but okay. Sheep. Herm the black sheep. So he was the first to basically diss Gilly for his son being killed. And I feel like the way that this was worded, I think it was like, I think maybe there was two parts of the interview and it wasn't supposed to all be dropped, or it wasn't supposed to be dropped at all. I think maybe he might have been referring to the bootleg Kev interview, saying there was only one interview that was approved to drop, people having gangster energy with Youngboy instead of the people that killed their son. So that's what he said, that he had gangster energy. He said that was only interview YB approved to drop. Yeah, we already saw that. So I think it was this one, right? It was the bootleg Kev, and it's weird because I was always a fan of bootleg Kev. I've recorded at his studio and put money in his pocket, and then he seemed just mad salty that I was on the complex list, and I see him do a reaction saying I didn't deserve to be on the list, which I thought was just some hoe shit. And I ain't never had a problem with him. I've always respected and admired what he's done. So that respect kind of all went down the drain with that, because really you just sound like an old head hating because somebody else is out here working hard and doing their thing in a different lane. Respect to him for getting the Youngboy interview, but it was a boring softball interview. And it wasn't challenging. It wasn't a difficult interview. It was a glazing interview, right? And that's why it wasn't really considered like one of the great Youngboy interviews. But Youngboy basically, in context, Youngboy basically said the bootleg Kev was the only one that was allowed. He said, I don't want to be seen high and messed up. Thank you, bro. So he respected bootleg Kev the way that he portrayed him. And, that's cool. That's cool, right? But the $1 million worth of game, this wasn't approved. This wasn't supposed to go up, all right? So Herm had them words to say about him, and apparently behind the scenes, he got gangster with him. And Gilly would touch on a situation in 2023 to give a little bit more context to it.
It is, right? To all the people that's in my DM that be like, yo, get such and such on the podcast, get such and such on the podcast, get such and such on the podcast. A lot of them people we reach out to, but they don't come to us because they can't control the narrative.
That's why they'd go to a little white girl that you never heard of. Or that's why they'd go to
Is the little white girl you never heard of Bootleg Kev? That makes sense.
a little white dude that you ain't never heard of because they can't control the narrative over here.
He ain't never heard of no Bootleg Kev. Bootleg who? Hootleg Kev.
You hear me? We not recording you. We not sending you nothing to look at. We don't ask nut-ass questions. So why would we have to send you something to review? We ain't doing that shit.
So this is why they think he's getting gangster. And I don't respect this. Obviously, he's upset about the way his son was spoken about. But at the end of the day, bro, this guy invited you to his house to do an interview. He was strung out. He didn't want to release it. You win some, you lose some. Youngboy Academics got invited all the way up to Gravedigger Mountain to do content. Ain't nothing come out. Youngboy was ready to beat his ass, allegedly, from what I heard. All right? You win some, you lose some. I would have gone to Gravedigger Mountain. If he didn't want to drop it, he didn't want to drop it, is what it is, right? It happens. I've had shit. I've interviewed some absolute terrors in the streets, all right? And we've done the interview and they've said, I'm not in that phase of life anymore. We're not putting it out. And that's fine. That's okay. I've got some shit in the vault that you wouldn't believe. That's all I'll say. But he given Youngboy the gangster energy here. So it only makes sense that Youngboy wanted to clap back the way that he did.
So a lot of times when y'all see motherfuckers and y'all like, get them on the podcast. If they can't control the narrative, they don't want to come. So we don't want your bitch ass. We street niggas. You don't control nothing over here.
So that's why Youngboy's dissing your dead son.
And we ain't running out of no money. Fuck wrong with them. We reach out to y'all motherfuckers. They want to go get with the motherfuckers they can control the narrative on. Get sit your dumb ass down somewhere. And when you do it, you be out here looking dumb as shit.
So that's why he's dissing his dead son. It kind of makes sense. Very, very disrespectful. Not only that, but just like, bro, you know, the guy's going through it with drug addiction. He's saying, look, I don't want to be portrayed this way. This is trashing your own credibility of trust. You was 1 minute you were bleeding heart. You wanted people to get out the streets. I bet you wouldn't have that energy with Dirk when he had $1 million on the table and he paying the hitman behind you. I bet you wouldn't have done some hoe shit like this to Dirk. All right. I bet you would have trimmed some shit out for Dirk and them. So I thought that was out of line. He said a street dude, YB, like treating him like one. That's a fact. Bootleg Kev said YB reached out to him to thank him for not recording him down bad. And Herm said in that interview with Gilly was never supposed to come out. All right. They're saying, ain't no real dude would have even uploaded that YB interview. Dude was high as hell, barely coherent, shake my head. Could have waited to get a better interview once he was in a better place, but nah, he needed the publicity and a clout. Real dudes and business don't go together. But then saying you got to blame YB for putting himself in that position. I need Youngboy and Bobby Altoff. So it's just funny. Everybody in here was so excited about this interview, and I told y'all ass it ain't going to be longer than an hour. So could someone sum up what you're saying? I'm assuming he didn't want to interview YB because he knows YB a junkie. There's all types of things. They threw a jab at her and Bootleg Kev. That's what he was talking about. I mean, I'm with him on the jab to Bootleg Kev, to be honest, because he just a hater. Can't stand to see anyone else doing well. But on July the 15th, so just a few days ago, Gilly would respond to YB's latest diss on Instagram Live, and he would give his thoughts once again. And again, it's like you on that tough guy street stuff, so this is what comes with it, all right? This is what comes with it.
I don't respond to shit with Vaughn. Fuck it.
See, look, you doing the Doughboy thing. You wasn't there. You wasn't banging OTF. You wasn't there sliding with Von through them streets catching bodies. King Von got killed because he was beefing with Youngboy and he tried to beat somebody up that he shouldn't have beaten up. Now you want don't respond with shit. So now you taking sides. Now you in the gang beef. Oh, okay. It's pathetic.
I don't respond to shit with Vaughn. Fuck it. He's talking. Go get your gun. You hear me? I'm not... Neff, let me just tell you something, okay?
What's up, though?
I'm an old school nigga, man. All right? We don't say what we was gonna do on the internet and all that type of shit. That's kid shit. You know what I mean? Like if you was gonna do something, you would have done it. Don't you know? So Neff, that's rap music, man. You know, rappers make rap music. Rappers make rap music, man. That's all it is, man. It ain't nothing, man. I don't feel no type of way.
So clearly he did no research on Youngboy, all right? Talking about rappers make rap music. Don't respond to shit with Von. Where's Von? Von is unfortunately no longer on this earth because he was beefing with Youngboy and his crew and the people connected to him who were ready to crash out immediately and catch a body.
You can't make me feel some type of way mentioning my son. I already come to grips with what happened, bro. That don't. You think you going? That don't make sense, bro. I already came to grips.
That's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, you so.
But it's like he's saying, and no disrespect to Gilly, but he's saying you can't diss my son. I've already come to grips with it. Well, you hadn't come to grips with it in 2023. He really had you upset, asking you about it face to face, and then when he mentioned it, when Herm mentioned it afterwards, really, you was freaking out. Yeah, no, we in the streets. Like he had you crashing out, acting like a young'un when you really pops. You ain't even unk, you pops at this point. So now he's talking about don't respond to shit with Von. What's Von gonna do?
On the rocks and shit.
Von is exhibit A as to why Youngboy is not to be played with, and anybody connected to him or his crew or Quando or anybody that's connected with them and not to be trifled with. That's exhibit A. No offense, I was a fan of Von's music. I was very closely following his come up in the rap game. He allegedly had killed 7 people, and it is what it is. I documented it heavily, but the fact is, Von is exhibit A into why you should not play with Youngboy. So Gilly's clap back don't really make any sense whatsoever.
I'm not threatened.
Yep. You just gotta laugh at this shit. That's what
Bro. You're younger than my youngest child, man. Sometimes you take too much of that shit, man. You know what I mean? You come down off that shit, man. Be all right.
I'm not even gonna like you know what you could say to that. You know what you could say to that based on the previous clip, right? So DJ Academics would basically open up about this. He would actually claim that he spoke privately with Gilly, and Gilly said that he was blindsided by the diss. Well, that's surprising because you was on some street shit saying we gonna do something to you. Haha, yeah, we don't play that. You was acting like you was gonna do something to him in 2023, and now you blindsided by the diss. He playing dumb. Pops is playing dumb.
Yeah, so I spoke to Gilly last night, and what Gilly told me was that nothing happened of recent to cause this. He says that Youngboy, he hasn't spoke to Youngboy in a while.
Nothing happened because now Youngboy is getting revenge. Now Youngboy's sober. He is looking out all the people that fucked him over and was rude to him while he was in jail. Bear in mind, after you did that interview with him, Gilly, and he was strung out on drugs, he then got caught for this drug ring where he was getting these prescription drugs. Clearly was going through a lot of pain, dealing with all the trauma and the issues of being a shooter. Yes, DoeBoy talking about he never did anything. He got multiple attempted murders and all kinds of bodies on his conscience from his crew. All right. He on the drugs dealing with these horrible traumas. And then you decided to capitalize on his pain and him going through this to put out some content he didn't want to put out where he was strung up on the dope, strung all over the place off the dope. So you wanted to do that. And when he wasn't happy about it, you got gangster on him talking about just like laughing at him, laughing in his face. And then he goes to jail. He ain't had a chance. He been busy until he had a chance to clap back at your bitch ass. So now he's getting it off. Now he's getting it off at Future. He's getting it off at DoeBoy. He's dissing this is his time. This is his time to clap back because you all stood on his neck when Dirk was blackballing everybody in the industry. And you were all making jokes and Future was getting on songs, cracking jokes about Lil Pab's murder with Dirk.
And if anything was the cause of this, maybe like 2 years ago, what he described was that he said Youngboy was on. Youngboy called him spazzing out one day, and basically he told nigga get off the phone, like bro, what type of shit you doing? And pretty much, basically, someone affiliated with Youngboy, Fee was the one who basically had facilitated the call, and he's like, yo, bro, why you got this guy calling me shouting on the phone like that? And the person supposedly said, yo, you know what, my bad, it's and third. And he never really spoke back with Youngboy. But they did do an interview back in the day, right? So, again, he doesn't even think that's what it is. He's saying that hasn't been anything for like a couple years. So, that's it. That's his side, right? And so he's saying this was really unprovoked and random, right? Now, on YB's side, and I think I could be honest with y'all. So, like, and if y'all wonder, actually, I'm not going to say certain parts of that. There's certain things when that kind of happened when YB was at Gravedigger Mountain, that I think, he was kind of careful about how people, and probably weary that people were trying to like take advantage of him, maybe like when he was in a lesser state, if that makes sense, right? And that's even one of the reasons why, like, when I went up there, I was like, yo, listen, whatever we put out, I want us to agree with it. I'm like, yo, we both press the button. That was our agreement. And, obviously we'll do much more stuff, but that was the thought. So I don't know if that was his demeanor towards, like, remember he did the interview with Gilly and Wallow, but it looked like they weren't necessarily on the same page with that, right?
So it's interesting, right? And Academics accidentally made a very good point there, basically being clear, saying, look, I had the interview with Youngboy. He's got multiple interviews with Youngboy. He's got an interview with Youngboy that he says he's only allowed to release if Youngboy dies. And that's how he's dealing with it, okay? But Gilly got to get the clout. He putting out something that causes Youngboy a lot of problems. Is it a coincidence? Could you say Gilly dry snitched on him because he broadcasted this clip of Youngboy high out of his mind, and the next thing you know, he's getting arrested for a drug trafficking ring? I don't know. Somebody could even say, yo, you low-key lined him up to get charges. But anyway, that's another point, all right? Redditors have been reacting to the Gilly diss, all right? And people have been saying this, so saying, bro, this dude really just said he thought about killing Gilly, but he ain't even do nothing about his son. What the F? And listen, he makes a good point, bro. Gilly said that he was on street shit with Youngboy. He said that back in December 2023. What? Because he wasn't happy you put out an interview because you did something against his wishes. Bro, they were not feeling that. And so now you reap what you sow. Gilly did make a post talking crazy when the interview situation happened. That's a fact, all right? Thought I heard wrong. I couldn't believe it. He said it in Binks the Reaper song, but he ain't say his name. I ain't even hear that. What the F? Wasn't Wallow it showing Philly? Yep. When he said this, what song? It's because YB asked him to delete stuff out the interview because he was talking too high, and Gilly made a post talking crazy about YB subliminally and says he ain't doing it. YB dissed him first on that Binks song. He said N-word killed his son. All he did was cry. It's savage. It's savage, but you reap what you sow, right? So that clip has been kind of resurfacing. People saying Gilly don't want the narrative to switch, and people to find out this all started over that interview coming out without his approval. And then he was sending back shots. And Gilly talking about, what you doing, Ack? What you doing, Gilly? What you doing, Gilly? You don't want people to know that this was all your fault, and you got gangster with a whole bunch of gangsters, all right? And now you crying and you upset because they snapping back at you and hitting you where it hurts. Right? This is Academics reposting it. Throwback to Gilly sending shots at YB for wanting to control the release of their interview in 2023. Gilly said, what you doing, Ack? What you doing, Gilly? What did you do? Ack. Ack been on timing. Why is Unk acting oblivious? Bro, heart definitely dropped when he seen that post. Whoops. Oh, I can't play the victim now because I deserve this. Say what you want about Ack, but he been showing you whose side he's on. 4K trade Demix. He OVO 4K Trey, Livingston Allen, 0 hats. All right, they're saying King Ack up 15 hats. He definitely he got Meek Mill's hat. He got Charlemagne's hat. You know what I'm saying? Charlemagne low-key hit him with a get back. But I just thought that whole thing was too boring. I even watched it. I was actually, ain't got 3 hours to look at that nonsense. Anyway, where's the dudes that was just hating on Ack over the song? Ack a real one. Imagine thinking about killing someone because you wanted them to interview you and you was drugged out your mind and didn't want to put it out or have the rights to look at the interview beforehand. YB wanted to waste them dudes' time and Gilly and them wasn't going. Well, Academics didn't say that he was going to get on street shit with Youngboy. Academics was respectful. He understood the situation. All of you street guys always love talking about, yeah, keep it in the streets. We not snitching. We not going to do anything to incriminate. You all want to point the finger at Vlad. Oh, Vlad asks police questions. Vlad be lining people up. But when you got him strung out of his mind on drugs and he doesn't want to release it and you still put it out and then you get on street shit with him and then within a few months he's arrested for a drug trafficking ring, I don't want to hear no more talk about Vlad's interviews being the police. Gilly and them the police. Gilly and them the police. You on the interview talking about, you on the interview he's strung out of his mind on drugs and he getting caught for the drug trafficking ring months later. And he didn't want to put that out. Ain't no way, all right? I'll keep it real. I've done some shit with Vlad where I maybe said something I shouldn't have, and I said, yo, can I check that out and just make sure that I ain't going to get myself in no trouble over that shit? And you know what Vlad did? Vlad said, yeah, let me send it to you. I watched it. I was like, I think that's okay. He respectful, all right? So Vlad can give me the same courtesy, but Gilly couldn't let Youngboy, yo, can I check that interview out and check that I'm not incriminating myself, creating a predicate for me to get caught up in a drug trafficking ring? And he said, hell no, I'm on some street shit. You can't push me around like these lame white people like Bootleg Kev. And now you talking about what you doing, Ack. You reap what you sow, Gilly. You reap what you sow. So finally, Lil Top, All right, the man himself has spoken up. All right, just 4 days ago, he spoke up about the situation. All right, he's been silent, but he took to Instagram to kind of respond to everybody in a very cryptic post, is what he said.
Why that nigga be on my dick so bad, son?
By the way, he's zooming into the shovel on his head. That's because he's a real gravedigger, right? He ain't got no... This is probably all teardrops that have all lined up to create a shovel. He got so many teardrops, 19 plus, he's animating a whole shovel out of them. That's what... He's hinting. He giving you a hint, Gilly.
Why that nigga be on my dick so bad, son? You bitch ass nigga. You... Oh, bitch, you just get on my nerves, bitch, with your ugly ass. Bitch, I probably got your hoe on the way to me right now, nigga. Beat him.
Listen, man. Listen, he talking his shit, all right? The biggest slime, okay, is probably regaining his aura. They saying they're not rocking with his piercings, all right? People saying, why you want his D? It's just real. He keep it real. He keep it real with everybody. He not playing with nobody, okay? They not playing with nobody, all right? They hate him. They low-key hate him. But anyway, all right? Basically, allegedly, a fan managed to track down Youngboy, right, and even took some shots at Doughboy, okay? I'm not going to... This is low-key a little racist, but apparently I'm not allowed to say things are racist, but he said YB in South Korea was Bruce Lee stunt double, right? Because he had Asian Don, but whatever, it's funny, it's cool.
Look, check this out. I done fucked around and posted that video of me eating, and he found me.
Yes, sir. I've been waiting for whole day, 24 hours in this place. No cap.
No cap. Oh, he got them black forces on. Yeah. Black force activity. Yeah. Fuck with him, nigga. Yeah.
He got the 4K Trey South Korea branch with the black forces on, okay? Don't play with him, all right? Don't play with him on Samsung, all right? They're saying he looked fresh as hell. Next song I hit, watch, all right? The biggest 5. What are you This is not a man to be playing with, okay? He's definitely going to drop something, all right? I don't know if it's going to be a song or a body, but we're going to have to wait and find out, okay? But basically, he popped out, all right? He popped out with the Young Slime song, okay? That's who he's got on his deck now, right? And he posted it up. He said, it's an honor to meet YB. Fuck Doughboy. YB definitely better, all right? And I can co-sign it, all right? I can co-sign it on BTS, all right? On BTS, that's a fact. Okay, it said YB times Quiet Dragon Fruit, right? Return of the 5 Mito. Top Done found his very own Ray, 2022 hair, 2026 hair, right? They loving it. But listen, okay, you can call me a YB Glazer, it is what it is, okay? I've studied the man, pause, in so much detail. I know the stories. I know where the bodies are buried. I know all the bodies, all the grave diggers, all the shooters. You guys didn't do your research. Doughboy, Gilly, Future. You should have done your research. You should have tapped in with the boy and watched one of my documentaries. So I do think that YB is charging up. He in Goku mode right now. I think he is going to drop some music that is going to absolutely shatter the earth. I think there could be another... I'll keep it real with you. I'm not sure there's going to be another tour coming. I have a feeling... there's a little part of me that feels like Youngboy's never going to come back to America because, you know what I'm saying? Them grave diggers... When them graves get dug, sometimes it's best to just stay out of the US. Youngboy might be doing what Lil Durk wished he could have done when he was trying to flee the States before he caught his case. But if Youngboy comes back to the US, it's going to be a scary sight. All of these guys are going to be scared. And really, they're lucky. Doughboy talking all of his shit, he lucky. It's the Youngboy's in South Korea. It's all well and good being like, you overseas talking all this dissing. Well, all of his shooters, Scully's here, Herm's here, Barber's here. Well, Barber's in jail. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talking all this shit, Youngboy over there because he need to be over there. So we're going to see what happens. I think Doughboy's going to have to look over his shoulder for the rest of his life, unfortunately. Gilly, I don't think anything going to happen to Gilly, but I do think that he exposed himself, and I think now that people can actually see why he poked the bear, really, in this situation, and he unfortunately did deserve a little bit of a clapback. You know, Youngboy was in a really rough situation, and he didn't want to be presented that way. He didn't want to be seen strung out on drugs. He didn't want the feds to realize the situation that he was going through with the drugs and the addiction. Okay, you put that on Front Street. Gilly arguably is partly a big reason why Youngboy got arrested. Realistically, I mean, look, Youngboy drug ring, right? It weren't that long after. It was the year after. Okay, it was only the year after when Youngboy is suddenly pleading guilty. He's getting forced to do a guilty plea, right? He's getting wrapped up in this whole situation, and he didn't want to have nothing to do with that. All right, he didn't like you. You put him in a whole world of trouble, okay? This was only a few months after the Gilly interview. So Gilly's on here talking about, oh, yeah, I'm going to do some street shit in December 2023. By April, Youngboy is facing these charges about a drug fraud ring. Gilly, you low-key told him, my boy. He didn't want to put that out.
Breaking here at noon, rapper NBA Youngboy now has a court date in Utah for his prescription drug fraud case. You should have just gotten an alert about this from us. The rapper, whose real name is Kentrell Golden, was arrested in Utah after police suspected he and several others were calling around to pharmacies to file fake prescriptions. He now faces several dozen charges tied to that alleged illegal drug ring.
They might not have known how many prescriptions he had if you didn't broadcast to the world how strung out he was. Do my boy a favor, bro. This was on April, so it only took a few months after your little beef for this to happen, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Like, y'all just doing too much. Y'all just want to do whatever you want, but it's self-snitching when Vlad... Oh, but when Vlad does it, Vlad's the feds. But when Gilly does it, oh, Gilly ain't the feds. Oh, no. He on some street shit, all right? It's crazy, man. Anyway, let me know what you thought of that. I'll keep you guys updated. Sorry it took me so long to give you this update, but I was away. I went on a little vacation. Never again. All right, never again. I don't want to take no more time off. Every time I leave, everything goes to shit. I swear I came back to the worst news. The worst news, the worst numbers. Just bullshit. Straight bullshit. I was pissed. I'll elaborate on what I came back. I came back to a fucking mess. I'm pissed, all right? But I'll talk to you guys about that more in detail as time goes on. I'll keep you guys updated on everything else that is going down. And, you know, I'm glad everybody liked my courthouse reporting on the Dirk trial. Hopefully there will be more of that going forward soon. Thank you for everybody that watched the Andrew Tate video, the David video. I've got way more David stuff in the chamber, and we're going to be getting some big updates next week. I'll let you guys know everything I possibly can on that when I can. But anyway, for now, I'm out of here, folks. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and... I'm tired. I was about to yawn. Until next time, folks, peace, and look out for them slimes. Doughboy, man. Doughboy and Gilly, bro, you might want to just stay in the house a little bit, okay? You over here talking about how you getting back for Von, bro. Look what happened to the last person that got back for Von. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to see. Anyway, see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.